All right, 11.3 is area of circles and sectors. Now, one of the things you're going to need to do here is pay real close attention to the directions. Make sure you read them carefully. And we had dealt with circles in chapter 10, so some of this will be familiar in terms of what we're using here. Now, in this particular problem, it says find the exact, now that's real important, area of the circle. So what is area of a circle? Area of a circle is pi r squared. When it says exact, what that means is leave pi in the answer, almost like a variable. So it's pi times r is the radius. What's the radius here? Radius is 2. 2 squared. So if I just do 2 squared on the calculator, I get 4. So I get 4 pi yards squared. That's the exact area. So we're just leaving pi in the answer. We're not putting a decimal or anything like that. Okay. Find the area. Use your calculator's value of pi. That means you want to use the pi button on your calculator and then round to the nearest tenth. Don't round until you finish the problem. Okay. So it's pi times 9 squared. So this time I'm just going to type that in on the calculator just like it is. So I use the pi button on the calculator times 9 squared. And then I round at that point. So it'll be 254.5 yards squared. Okay, what about this next one? Well, 8.2, that's the diameter. Remember, the radius is half the diameter. So 1/2 of 8.2. So the radius is 4.1. Then I use the formula. Pi times 4.1 squared. So again, just use the calculator. And I get 52.8. And then that's centimeters squared. All right, what about problem number 4? Problem number 4, it gives us circumference. Okay, so now we got to go back and remember circumference. Circumference is pi times diameter, or circumference is also 2 pi r. Well, I'm going to use this one. And the reason I'm going to use that one is because I need radius for the area formula. Okay, so it tells me circumference is 64.7. That equals 2 times pi times r. So to get rid of the 2 pi, I divide. So I'm going to type that in on the calculator, 64.7 divided by, okay, and you'll want to put this in parentheses here, okay? Make sure you put that in parentheses on the calculator. 2 pi. And that gives me 10 point. Now, you don't want to round here. I always told you before, if you go 3 decimal places, you're pretty good. If you go 4, you're definitely good. So I'm going to go 4 decimal places here. 2973. 2973. That is my R. Now I'm going to find area. Area is pi r 10.2973 squared. So I type that in on the calculator. So pi times parentheses 10.2973 squared. And then that gives me 333.1. And that was feet squared. Okay, so don't round to the nearest tenth until after you have finished the whole problem. So again, if you go 4 decimal places here, you should be pretty safe. All right, let's go to problem number 5. Find the exact area of each sector. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this stuff up here so I got more room. How do you get area of a sector? Area of a sector is very similar to area of a circle. So area of a sector is angle over 360 times pi r squared. Now, why angle? because we're not taking the whole circle, we're only taking a portion of the circle. And this gives us the portion because the angle out of 360, because the whole circle is 360 degrees. So in this case, our angle is 90 over 360 times pi. What's our r? Our r here in the problem is 10 squared. Okay, again, I want to put that in parentheses as a fraction. So 90 divided by 360 times pi, parenthesis, 10 squared. Okay, now the thing is here, it says find the exact. So what's that mean? I'm going to leave pi in the answer. So I'm not actually going to put pi in the calculator when I'm typing. I'm just going to be putting this and this in the calculator when I'm typing it out. So if I do that, that gives me 25. So I end up with 25, and then bring the pi down because it said exact, and it's in centimeters squared. Okay. Same thing, find the area of the sector, but this time it wants us to round. So again, area is angle, there's our angle, 315 over 360 times pi, r is 7 squared. So since I am rounding this time, here's 10th, this time I'm going to use the pi button on the calculator. So I am going to type pi on the calculator this time. Remember parentheses here. So parentheses 315 divided by 360, close parentheses, times pi, parenthesis 7 squared, and I get 134, here's 10th, 0.7, and that's in centimeters squared.